Hello everybody and welcome to Roll by Rolls, the D&D podcast. This is our first ever episode. I am your Dungeon Master, Richard Barlow, and what we're doing today and what we'll be doing for the next few episodes is almost like a prologue to our main adventure, the Isles of Nekkar. So what these are is they're one-shots with each of the characters. They all have their own kind of like half an hour, 45-minute mini adventure to introduce the characters. And, rather than going around the table in our first session together to introduce all the characters with like a quick 5-minute thing, they all have their own fully fleshed out story before we all meet up and go on our main adventure. So today with me I have Cora Eckert, and I will just kind of pass it on to her and let her introduce her character.
Hi, I'm Cora Eckert. I am playing Aleda. If you were to ask Aleda what she is, she'd just say that she's a cook. As far as she knows, that's what really she is. But lately she's been discovering some unusual abilities that she's trying to figure out what's happened. She's had some terrible events happen in her life, and she's trying to get through them and trying to just live a normal human life in this difficult world. Richard was kind enough to prepare a little bit of a sense of where I am right now, and he slipped a little piece of parchment into my purse, like a very, very sneaky sneak. He's a rogue in real life. It's very impressive.
It's true.
So I'm just going to read that now as Aleda. I'll describe what she looks like. So she's kind of a human who looks, medium build. Her hands are very rough from work in the kitchen. She has dark hair, dark brown, and she's kind of got like a medium complexion from being outside and yeah. So that's basically what she looks like. She's kind of in a traveling cloak right now. Very basic, rustic traveling clothes. Not quite a peasant, more like lower middle class. Which doesn't exist in medieval times, I guess. So, well, anyways. I guess I'll read this thing that you gave me.
Yeah.
Aleda had settled in the town of Steinen, a quaint little village inhabited mostly by humans. I took a job there as a baker's assistant, and I quite enjoyed my time there, thinking maybe this was a place I could stay. That is, until I met this old lady who frequented the shop. She seemed to take a liking to me, and got to a point where she would wait to be served until it was me who could take her order. She asked so many questions of my past. I thought nothing of it at first. It seemed like mere small talk, but she would ask again every time she came in, each time pressing harder and asking for more details. I grew more and more suspicious of this old lady as she continued to come in and speak to me. She started making strange requests for things, for me to bake for her. What once seemed like a perfectly nice old woman had now grown to someone who triggered all my fears. Finally one day she came in and asked me to bake her a simple loaf of bread, but she had very specific ingredients she wanted in the loaf. She handed me a small basket filled with her ingredients and said she would return in the first thing in the morning. I held the basket with terror. I didn't dare look into it. The risk was too great. Maybe this was just a nice old lady who was a little strange and had very specific needs, but that was not a chance I could take. I waited a bit of time until I felt like it was safe to leave, and then I gathered everything I could and I fled, leaving the basket on the counter in the shop. Mixed in with my fear, I had sadness, a desperation to find some place where this would stop happening, where she could never find me, or at least never get in. Maybe a small place with very few people, where an outside presence could be known to everyone. Maybe if I could find a place like that and earn their trust, then they'd be able to protect me. But where could I find a place like that? I started walking into town, and I felt a crunch beneath my foot, and there was a piece of paper that somebody dropped. I picked it up. Join us for our centennial celebration of Port Victor. For 100 years, Port Victor has been known for the most secure, most fertile, and most joyous place to live. Now it is a time to celebrate our great village. Please bring this flyer to the gates in order to gain entrance to Port Victor. Well, I don't have anywhere else to go. Most fertile. I guess there's some fancy business going on there. Well, let's see what this brings me.
Yeah, so you head out, and you go through asking people here and there, like, you never heard of Port Victor. Not many people know a lot about it. They've heard great things, but as far as, like, going there, almost nobody has gone there.
That's strange.
Because it's just really hard to get to. It's kind of like, some people don't even believe it exists. It almost sounds too perfect. It's almost like a utopia. But anyways, you head out looking for it because obviously, you know, you got a flyer.
I don't have anywhere else to go.
So you head out to find this Port Victor. Reports kind of say that it's past the Forest of Rowstone. So that's where you go. The Forest of Rowstone is massive. To get from one side to the other, it would take, depending on how fast, how much you need to rest, like a week and a half, sometimes even 2 weeks to get through this forest. So where we meet you, you've been traveling through this forest for probably about a week, maybe a little more. It's nerve-wracking because you don't know where you're going, and it's such a dense forest. You can't really see where you're going. On the map that you have, these paths, on the map they look like dirt paths. Really, they're just like walking, like people or things have walked there. Like they're not even like fully laid out paths.
They're desire paths.
Yes, because this forest like doesn't have an official way to get through it or anything like that. There's no roads here. But at the same time, like, this doesn't seem like a threatening place. Like, you've gone through here for a week. No animals have come after you. You haven't run into anything that's really caused you trouble. Only like scary thing about it is you have no idea where you're going. You're just kind of walking and following these walking paths that you find. So yeah, you're about a week and a day, maybe 2 days into your journey. You know, you're very good with, I mean, you're a cook. So anything you found, like, you know what you can eat. I have
an ability. I have the feature passion for food, and in any role relating to finding food or ingredients, I get a D6 to my roll, so I can forage.
Yes. So days previous to this, you've rolled great. You've been surviving no problem in this forest. Like you make food. You make like a delicious salad with what's
dandelion,
what's in the forest.
Pine nut.
So really, you're feeling pretty alright. You're again like probably a little nervous because you still, after all this time, haven't gotten out of this forest. But it's not a forest that feels threatening to you.
No.
Until, all of a sudden, as you're walking, you hear a shriek. Just like a scream from what sounds like a young child, like a little girl. And if you want, you can go ahead and give me a perception check and see what else you hear.
Cool. Is this anything? Is it just straight perception?
Yeah, we'll just do straight perception.
I rolled a 4, but I have a +1, so that's a solid 5.
Okay, well, for that, you hear the scream, and that's about it. You can hear that it's coming from, like, just north of you, kind of northeast. And I didn't put a compass on the map, but it's, like, how you would expect it to be from where you're facing. So just, like, slightly northeast on that path. So I'll say with a 5, you also hear not only screaming, but the girl is calling for help.
Okay. And it sounds like a young girl.
It's a young girl, yes.
If it were anyone but a child, I probably wouldn't go. But I'm gonna go, because it sounds like it's a kid.
Okay, cool. So you head over there, and I gotta go get my figures.
Ooh.
You see you come across. I'll just kind of move this so we do it on the graph. I don't like have an official thing here.
We're on the path.
But you see a little girl.
You guys can't see this, but it's super cute.
And she is being attacked by 2 bandits. The one bandit is kind of like behind her, grappling her and holding her. And the other is in front trying to wrestle away a little, almost like a makeshift satchel that she has. It's like a handkerchief. Something's in it. It's tied around.
It's like a little hobo pack on a stick.
Yeah, kind of. Without the stick. She's just holding it. So you come across them. Yeah, so that's what you see. What do you do? What do you say?
Oh, it seems I've stumbled upon something I shouldn't have seen. Good day, gentlemen. How are you?
You see the one who is holding her kind of just like tilts his head around her head and around his partner who's still trying to wrestle away this thing from her hand and just says to you, "You best go elsewhere, dearie."
I can see. Not quite so much gentleman, and I attack.
Okay, so let's roll for initiative then. If you're gonna go ahead and do that, and I'll give you an attack first, and then we'll do the initiative check. So who are you going for?
I'm going to go for the one that's holding the girl.
Okay. We'll call him Bandit 1.
Mm-hmm.
So what?
I rolled 12, but I have a +1 to initiative, so it's 13.
That's your initiative?
That's my initiative.
Okay, and we will check out. See what these guys have for initiative. They just have what they roll. Okay. So Bandit 2 is gonna go first.
Okay. I thought you said I'd get an attack.
You get an attack first,
okay, cool.
But then once we start,
it'll go after. I see.
It'll go Bandit 2, Eleda, and then Bandit 1. And Bandit 1 is who you are attacking. So, what are you attacking with?
I'm going to use Ray of Frost.
Okay.
So it's my cantrip, and I'll see if I hit, and then I'll have damage if I do.
Is that a wisdom saving throw, or is that a just
nope,
roll?
It's just straight roll.
Okay, cool.
I rolled a 4, so that's...
that does not hit.
Well, F.
Okay.
I do have a bonus action.
Okay, yeah.
Oh, shit. And then, it's been a while since I've done that. Sorry, that's embarrassing. And, I grab one of my daggers, and I very discreetly dip it into a pouch, which is poison. It's my bonus action, but I can't throw it.
Okay, so you're kind of like preparing the poison on your dagger?
Yes.
Okay. So, Bandit 1 has, if you can kind of, I can't reach the map.
Yes.
He got the handkerchief that she was holding, and he's going to run away.
Okay.
Run northeast, kind of to where you see the like water area. Like it looks like a little beach on the map.
What's his speed?
He is just 30, but he's also gonna dash.
Okay.
So he is just getting the hell out of there.
Cool.
And then we're at, and then you get to go again.
Great. I'm going to cast 60 feet. Oh, how many are these squares? 5 or 10?
5.
Great. Cool. I'm going to throw an ice knife.
Okay.
And so that's my first spell. I have 2 spell slots. And so I create a shard of ice in my free hand that's not holding a dagger, and I fling it at a creature within range. He's well within 60 feet.
And this is at, sorry, the guy who just took off?
The guy who took off.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'll see if I hit him.
Okay.
It's a 2.
That does not hit him.
I'm shocked, but because it is an ice thing, so even if it misses, the shard explodes, and the target and every creature within 5 feet of it must succeed on a dexterity saving throw of 13 or take 2d6 cold damage. So even though it misses, it explodes in the air. So I'm like, I gotta work on my aim, but it explodes.
Okay. So it was what? A dexterity of...
A dexterity saving throw of 13.
Of 13?
Or higher.
Okay. Well, he got a nat 1.
So he takes 2d6 of cold damage. The shard just explode and fling out over him.
We're gonna say that with his nat 1, the explosion of the shard, it startled him. And so he tripped and fell. And so that's where he is.
That's what you got with him.
And it was, what, do you want to roll the 2d6?
I would love to. That would be great. 7 damage.
7 damage. Okay. That was bandit 1, and math needs to happen.
And he's prone, right? So he fell down.
He is prone.
Great.
Okay. So now, oh no, sorry, that was bandit 2, not 1.
Tell me how I hurt him.
He is looking not great.
Good.
The shards, we'll say, went into his leg, and so he's looking pretty rough. I mean, for a guy who's
Will
running.
it slow him down?
It will. Yes, we'll say he can no longer dash. It will make him. He'll still have the speed of 30, but he no longer has a bonus action to dash away.
Yeah.
Okay. So now Bandit 1 is going to.
Oh, wait, I still have a bonus action.
Okay, yep.
I take another dagger and need to put him poison. Now I've got
Okay, yeah, so both your daggers are poisoned now. Okay, cool. Alright, well now, Bandit 1, or Bandit, Bandit 1 is going to, he kind of tosses the girl to the side. They don't need her anymore, they have...
Oh, maybe not.
And we'll say she's prone because they just throw her to the ground. They don't need her anymore. They have what they tried to take from her. Mm-hmm. And he comes after you with his dagger. So he's going to just take a swing at you with that. Alright. So nobody in this battle is very good. He just rolled a 2.
Nice. We're evenly matched.
So we'll say he kind of was thrown off by the explosion as well. So he threw the girl to the ground, comes after you, sees the explosion kind of in the corner of his eye.
Yeah, I wouldn't do that.
And is looking at that while like trying to jab forward at you, and just completely misses.
Great.
And that's his turn.
Cool.
So now we're back at Bandit 2. So he is going to...
I do have a question.
Yes.
Does the girl have any initiative?
No, she's useless.
F. Okay, fine.
She's just a little girl. She is cowering scared right now.
Okay.
She is not...
I mean, I'm not blaming her.
Like, she doesn't... She's too scared to run. She doesn't want to fight. So she's just kind of...
Kids these days,
she's
no
just
initiative.
kind of crying
Literally.
there and watching this all happen.
I get it.
Yeah. Okay, so he is going to get up, and we'll say his bonus action is getting up, and then he's going to move again. Because it took him, he's having a hard time getting up, I'll only give him half movement.
Okay.
So he only moves 15.
Well, he only gets half movement anyway because he's prone.
Yeah. So he's
so
gonna...
does he get half of half?
No, he gets 15.
Ah, fine.
And that's all he is going to do. And now it's back to you.
Great. I have 2-weapon fighting, so I'm gonna throw my first poison dagger at the guy closest to me and jab at him. I'm not even gonna throw it, I'm gonna jab.
You're just gonna...
He's within 5 feet.
He's definitely within 5 feet of you. He's just trying to jab you with his dagger.
Cool. So I will try to jab him. Let's see what happens. And it's a finesse weapon, so that's 15.
That hits.
Great. Poison damage. So that's 3 just from the dagger, and then the additional poison damage is another D4. So that's 6 damage.
6 damage? Alright. So you jab forward with him, you get him right kind of on his side, like kind of by his ribs. This hurts him. He's still in fighting shape, but you can see that the poisonous effect was almost instantaneous, so he is feeling weak. He's feeling pretty rough.
Cool. And just because I have 2 weapon fighting, it doesn't mean that I can do 2 things, right? Like, it's just I have them in my hands, or... I'm new to playing. Normally,
she is normally our dungeon master, and but no, 2 weapon fighting is you can use the other weapon.
Cool.
You didn't use a bonus action on this turn or anything?
I did not, no.
Yeah, no, go for it. You gonna try to throw it at the other guy, or are you just taking it at this guy?
Same guy. I think I gotta take him out. That's a 9.
Just straight 9.
Straight 9.
That does not hit.
Yeah. So it's like stab and then swipe, but he moves out of the way.
You were, after having a pretty rough start with your aim, you were so excited that you hit him that the other one, he was able... You kind of did it at the same time. So when you got hit with the one, he cringed. And so your other one, as he like bent over, went over his shoulder.
Oh, motherfucker. Oh, there's a kid here. Oh, I better watch my language.
It's okay. My dad swears a lot.
Oh, great. Good, I won't give a fuck then.
Okay. So now we're back at the guy that you're trying to stab. So he is going to, while he's crouched over in pain from the poison, he's going to take another stab at you.
Yeah.
He does not hit.
Great.
He is in too much pain. This poison is starting to go through his body. He is feeling weak. It's not so much that he missed, it's that he's so weak that you were easily able to just swat his hand away.
Nice try.
Other guy's running.
And the other guy, he's going to keep running.
Rather than making him run, I'm just going to move everyone back.
Yeah, that's fine. We're running out of mat.
115 again? Or I guess he was not prone this time, so he gets 30.
He gets 30, yeah. And he might be off the board.
No, we're good.
No? Okay.
We're just here. He'll get off soon.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so that is his turn, and now we are back to you again.
Great. Well, I think I'm just gonna continue with the daggers.
Yeah? Go for it. Question about your poison. Are they poisoned the whole time? Like the one that you got him with?
No, it's just the initial hit.
Okay.
So the one that didn't hit still has poison.
It still has poison, but the other one doesn't?
The other one does not.
Okay, cool.
Unless I redid it.
Yeah.
So I'm going to first hit him with the non-poison one. I'll hopefully hit him.
Yeah.
That's a 10.
Does not hit.
Yeah. Okay, let's try this one more time. That's an 11.
Does not hit.
Ugh!
So...
Swish, swish!
There we are.
Ah!
You're so excited still about hitting him the first time, you're not paying attention that he's now crouching over, so you're still just kind of stabbing away in the same spot where you got him the first time, but he's gradually getting lower with pain.
Well, can I still use my bonus action?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna dip the one that's...
You're gonna re-poison the one dagger? Cool. Okay, yeah, so they are both poisoned again.
Great.
And now he's gonna try to regather his strength and take a swing at you again. What was your AC? 11? He hits you.
Ugh.
He finally manages
to get me.
To gather the strength. He's just mad now. Yeah. And he's kind of annoyed that you're just flailing daggers above him.
That's fair. I'd be annoyed too.
He's embarrassed that someone who's fighting like this is beating him.
I mean, you need a haircut. What can I say?
So he gets...
a little off the top.
Where is his thing? He does a 1d4 plus 1. I have a tray full of dice, but do you think I can find a d4? So he does 3 to you.
Ah!
So he gets you, he's lowered at this point because he's been sinking down in pain. So say he gets you like right in the thigh.
Ah! Do you feel good hurting a girl and a woman?
Oh, it's fine. I've done much worse.
I believe you.
That is you. I need to change your hit points.
Yeah, I gotta... How do I alter? Oh, here.
Okay.
Up here. No. I don't like this.
Okay, so, and then it goes to the other guy, and he's still running. He is just getting out of there.
Okay.
So he does another 30.
Yeah, he'll be off the board.
Yeah, okay.
Okay. I'll just keep these here, but...
Alright, so
Like-
you can't see
No, I
him
can't.
anymore.
He's around the bend.
He's gone. You know which direction he went. He didn't look like he was trying to zigzag out of there or anything. He was just going,
He was bleeding, though, right? Like, I cut him up
yeah,
quite a bit.
yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So now it's back to you.
Okay. I'm going to cast Ray of Frost, a cantrip,
Okay.
directly on him.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that was just a straight roll from you.
Yeah. 14.
That hits.
Great. So that's 1d8. That's 4 damage.
4 damage.
Yeah. And
All
do it
right.
right in his face.
Alright. So this was it kind of explained what it's looking like as you're doing this ray of
Sure.
frost.
When I did my bonus action, so I had the 2 daggers in my hand. I put the dagger into the poison pouch. So 3 poison now, but it's like in that poison pouch. And then when instead of pulling the dagger up, I just kind of smack him in the face, and blue-white streaks come directly into his face. So he might even get like ice and snow and shit in his
Okay.
eyes.
His head, we will say, is totally frozen. Like looks
Oh no!
not like his head's not an ice
Yeah.
cube,
Oh.
but it's like
Perfect ice
if
cube.
it
Lots
was-
of ice.
it's like an ice. It almost looks like a snowman. Like it's just all frostbitten and like white and frosty. He can't see. He is just in the worst shape he's ever been in his life.
Just like as a bonus action for flavor, I do have a carrot on me. Can I just
You can
put a carrot?
put it, and you know what? Because that's hilarious, you can shove a carrot into his face,
Yeah.
and I'll call it an unarmed strike if you want to roll.
Yes, I will do that. I take a carrot out of my pocket, and that's a 2, so it's not gonna get
no.
there. No.
So this is very entertaining to you. Yeah, you can shove it into his mouth.
Yeah.
It doesn't have the effect you wanted because it
Well,
doesn't look like a
enjoy the
nose. But you look over, and through her tears, the little girl kind of smiles and giggles.
I'll take the laugh.
This is pretty entertaining for her, but also terrifying.
Yeah.
Okay, well, it's gonna be his turn.
So he has a face full of ice and a mouth full of carrot.
Yeah, and he's poisoned. So he's gonna take a swing at you. It's going to be with disadvantage because he can't see. He is weak. He's just kind of flailing his dagger around, hoping to hit, hoping you're still in front of him. So I will roll for him. He does manage to land it. He does get you. You were so entertained you forgot to move out of the way
I did. I just
as he
stayed
was
there
swinging
laughing.
his dagger around.
I'm so clever.
He does 2 damage to you.
Okay.
So he kind of slices. We'll get like. He slices your arm. He's just flailing around. He's starting to kind of fall back because his head is ice. So he's like. He doesn't have balance, doesn't know where he is. He's just flailing. So he slashes you against the arm and gets you there.
Whoa. Those blind flailings, sometimes you get lucky.
Yeah.
Especially when people just...
Oh, no, wait,
Instead of being snowman.
Hold on.
What did you do?
I didn't do disadvantage.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
He still hits you. So
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
that happens.
Uh-huh.
The other guy, he's gone. Like, he's...
Yeah, I don't see him.
He's not in this anymore, so it's back to you.
Okay. I got the daggers again. I'm just
Yeah,
gonna do that.
just take a swing at him.
Cool. 13 for the first one.
That hits, and you don't even have to roll damage.
No.
You don't even stab him. You can like take your dagger and with the handle of it, just kind of bonk him on the head.
Cool.
And because it's frozen, it like leaves a big gash in his head because it was so frozen and sensitive that
he was able to function.
Just drops. It was like almost that flail that got you was almost just like his muscles doing their own thing as he was like going down.
Respect.
So that's he is down.
Cool.
So we'll say even though like the other guy got away, so we'll say battle's over, initiative is over. So what do you want to do now?
I'm gonna go to the girl and see if she's hurt.
Are you all right? How are you doing?
I'm okay. I really needed those plants. My dad, he's so sick. I came out, there's only one tree in this forest that grows the plants that can help him. Mommy calls it the healing tree, and she can't leave his side, so I was the only one who could come and get them, and I picked everyone, so they're not even there anymore, and I don't know what's gonna happen to Daddy.
Right, can you run? Are you hurt? Are you alright?
I can walk. I don't know about run. I can walk.
Okay, then stay here. Stay off to the side. This guy's dead. He's not going to hurt you anymore.
Okay.
It's okay if you don't want to stay near the corpse. I'm going after that man. You stay here. Stay safe, and I will try and get those plants for you.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. So this has been like maybe 30 seconds, right?
Yeah, if you're gonna go running through the woods, even though it's still on the path, it is just a walking path. So just to see how fast you can go after him, I'll get you to roll dexterity, because there's still stuff in the way. You're still gonna have to hop logs and everything like that.
Just a straight dexterity?
Yeah.
Okay. That is a 15.
15? Okay, so you pretty smoothly...
Leaping over roots.
You leap over roots, leap over logs. A couple branches hit you in the face, which slow you down a bit.
I am also tracking him, so would I do a survival for that? Because there's blood on the ground.
I'm gonna say...
Or he was just running carelessly and it's pretty obvious.
It's pretty obvious. Give me a survival check, but like, even with a really low one...
Oh, well, that's a 19 and I have +3.
Okay, yeah, you know exactly where this guy is going. He, not only is he bleeding,
a lot.
but like, he's crashing over things, so like, there are broken branches, there are like, his path is clear where he has gone. So you eventually get to him. You get to the like beach area. And he is just standing in the water. You go to the beach, and he's standing in the water, his arms out to his sides.
I don't like
and
this.
he's just holding the handkerchief.
Okay.
Still full of the plants. And so as you walk down to him, all he says is, "You're gonna have to kill me if you want this back. Kill me where I stand."
What do you want it for?
You
This is not the way you
see,
have to do it.
his face is kind of blank. And in a weird way, he almost doesn't register what you just said. And he just repeats again, "You are going to have to kill me."
I'm gonna roll an insight check. This is too weird. It
Yeah,
can't be.
yeah, for sure.
Yeah. And I have... so that is a 16.
A 16?
Yeah.
So with that, you can see he doesn't really know what he's saying. It seems like he's not speaking for himself.
Okay.
Almost like, you can't tell if he's been brainwashed, if he's hypnotized, if, maybe he just ate one of the plants and is just having a little mind trip, but he is not aware of what he's saying.
Okay.
If you want, give me a... give me a perception or investigation. I'll allow either of those for, just kind of checking him out and seeing what's going on. You also, with that insight, with 16, I'll say you don't see him. He doesn't seem threatening to you.
Okay.
He's not reaching for any weapons. He is standing there, presenting himself.
Which means it's a trap. And I can, yeah.
You kind of get that feeling,
Yeah.
but like do the investigation or perception, whatever you want.
It's a 9. I get a 10.
A 10?
Yeah.
That it is kind of obvious. So because you don't feel threatened by him, you don't go into the water.
Yeah.
But you step a little closer, and you can see his eyes are very glazed over. They're almost changing color. There's almost like a little storm inside his eyes happening.
Do I recognize this as anything?
It's yes.
Okay.
You have seen this look in someone's eyes before. So, and then I'm also, was that an investigation or a perception that you did?
It was perception.
It was perception? Okay. What's your passive perception, actually?
My passive perception is 11.
11. Okay. You start smelling a faint odor in the air of almost like dead fish. I mean, you're by the sea, so like it makes sense, but not as strongly as you're getting it.
Okay.
So yeah, we'll just that's what you're getting. What do you want to do?
I'm going to cast Shape Water.
Okay.
So I can instantaneously move or otherwise change the flow of water as I direct up to 5 feet in any direction.
Okay.
And I can also change the water. So I'd like to change it into a block of ice around his body, and I'd like to move it towards me.
Okay. Sure.
Okay. While, like, kind of being wary of stuff around me. So he's gonna slowly just turn into a block of ice and start sliding towards me.
Okay.
And I can just cast that. It's a
cool.
cantrip.
Yeah. Let's say roll for, we'll call it performance, I guess,
Okay.
to just see how successful, like you get the ice, but how well it holds him and how much you move him. We'll roll for that.
Okay. That's going to be... Oh, and I have 3 on performance, so that's a 14.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so it's not like this huge heavy block of ice, but like he's not breaking free of this or anything. And he does start to move forward. He is kind of right at the shoreline.
Okay.
So like his feet are still in the water. Unless, do you turn all the water around him into ice?
No, it's just 5 feet.
Okay, yeah. So he moved forward. He's still kind of on the edge of the water.
He's encased in a
And yeah, he's still doing exactly the same.
Okay.
He's still arms out, holding the handkerchief. He once again says, "You're gonna have to kill me if you want this back." Just on, he's like a broken
Repeating
record.
it. Yeah.
At this time, how does it say, like, how long is that? Just an instant?
It can last for an hour.
How long does it take you to cast? Is it just like you
It's
cast
instant.
it just like that?
I just
Okay,
cast
cool.
it. It's duration, instantaneous.
Perfect. So that happens. Do you want to do anything else to him while you're here? Or just in general, anything else?
So he's right at the shoreline, so I'm gonna try and reach for, I assume that he's kind of like, he had arms outstretched, you said.
Yes.
How tall was he?
He's like a medium size. He's probably roughly the same height as you. Like, it's not like you're reaching up, or like you can reach the handkerchief if you want.
Cool. I'm going to try and, I have a dagger out, and I'm gonna try and grab it and pull it back, and as a reaction, if anything attacks me, I'm going to stab it.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So for that, we'll just do opposing strength checks.
Okay. Not my best. I don't like this. So I get advantage because he's in a block of ice.
No, because that's not affecting his hand. Like, he is holding on tightly, and like I said, he is unaware of what he's doing, so he almost has no weakness in that arm because it's just.
All right. I have a -1 to strength, so
Okay.
I rolled 17, so it's a 16.
Okay.
Not strong.
You get it from him.
Okay. Cool. And I dart back like my full thing, looking around wildly.
Okay, while you're looking around, give me another perception check.
Okay. That is a 8.
An 8?
Yeah.
An 8 is fine. She makes herself pretty known. So the smell gets stronger. The smell of this fish gets stronger. And you hear a like really creepy giggle in the background, just saying. You turn around, and at the edge of the path, where the path like meets this beach where you're on, you see the little girl. She is there, dripping wet, but she has not been near this water. Like you know that like this is the only path to the water. The rest of the forest, like this is kind of like goes downhill to this beach. So like if she were to go in the water anywhere else along the shoreline, it's almost a cliff. So like she's not jumping in and getting back up.
I dropped the packet.
Okay.
Immediately. Just back.
Yeah. You see as you drop the pack, she pushes. Well, she doesn't push. She raises her hand, and the bandit moves back into the water. Now he reaches down and he does pull out his daggers.
Oh no. He's still in a block of ice for an hour.
He is still in that block of ice.
Okay.
Like
I don't even
give me a survival check.
Oh god. Wait, is that a 9 or a 6? That's a 6. That's a 10.
A 10?
Yeah.
Okay. You can see along the beach line, like there's the clear area where the path is, where the little girl is standing. Also, while you're seeing her standing there, her form is kind of changing. Like her skin color is getting a little paler. Her hair is getting darker. She's just gradually getting wetter. Like before it was like her hair was kind of dripping. Now her clothes are wet. So you're frantically looking around, seeing this. You do see along the shoreline, like even though that's the path, you can still kind of get anywhere along the shoreline because since there are no real roads, the path in this forest is kind of what you make it.
Yeah.
So there are getaway routes along this beach, if that's the route you wanted to take.
I'm not ready to face her, but I'm going to try and attack her and run afterwards.
Okay.
So I'm going to throw an ice knife at her.
Okay.
It's just a distraction anyway, and who knows if I'll even hit. I get a 14.
A 14 does not hit.
Okay, but it is an ice dagger, and it's going to explode.
So it does the exploding thing as well?
It does the exploding thing, so she has to do a dexterity save of 13 or higher. And while it explodes, I'm just running. Like, I'm not even looking.
Yeah.
Which is probably why it missed, because I was just like,
yeah, you just threw it.
Yeah.
You kind of threw it while running. Like, you started to run and threw it. Yeah, she rolled horribly. Okay. So she is very distracted by this. You hear her shriek. It's not the same shriek that you heard before. It's now more of like a high... I mean, it was high-pitched before, but it's more painful almost. You just hear like...
Yeah. Oh,
and she throws her hands in front of her face.
Yeah. She wasn't expecting that. I've gotten better.
So we'll do another... She
takes 5 damage, but it doesn't matter.
Okay,
I'm running.
So let's do another dexterity to see how well you do in this.
That's a 19, and I have a +1 to dexterity, so that's 20.
In your panic, this forest does nothing to you. You're hopping over logs. You learn from chasing this guy about the branches that were smacking you in the face. You are ready. Your hands are up. You have no problem getting away from this.
It's pure animal instinct of get the F away from this thing.
So as you're running, you hear her. She is still shrieking. It's gone from the shriek of her getting this thing thrown at her face and being distracted and that. It's now like an angry, a really like this is something that just lost their prey. Like an animal that just lost their dinner for the night. Like, they are angry. She is pissed. But you just keep going. While you're running, give me a perception check again.
That's not gonna do anything. I rolled a 3. At most, it'll be like a 4.
Well, your passive is 11.
Yeah,
right?
That's right. My passive
Yes.
is 11. Yeah.
And
I'm probably on high alert, being like, "Where's she
you are
coming
on high
from?"
alert. You hear her shrieking. Her shrieking hasn't moved.
Okay.
She's in the same spot. It doesn't seem she's chasing you. You don't hear the footsteps of maybe that bandit chasing you. Like, she didn't. Doesn't seem like she broke him out of the ice or anything like that. It seems that, like, you have outsmarted her this time. So you just keep running, and eventually, if you look on the map, you'll see kind of the gate to Port Victor.
Yeah.
You are
so I'm
running. You're running
for, like,
through the woods.
hours.
You're not on the path.
Yeah.
You're running through the woods, and you come out kind of right in front of the gates.
Okay.
When you get out, you get on the pathway. You're relieved that you see this gate. You're finally at Port Victor. You're hunched over because you're so out of breath. Like I said, like, this map is huge.
Yeah, I
so
was
like, it
running
looks
for
like a short
hours.
thing there. You were probably running for 12 hours at least. Like, you just didn't stop.
Yeah.
Didn't even think about, like, how tired you were getting. Just pure adrenaline.
I do have
took
a
you
pretty
there.
good constitution.
Yeah, so like, you're exhausted now, but while running you didn't have
I've been
any
doing my cardio.
any issues. You've been on the run for
Yeah.
months, if not years at this point. So, like, you know how to run.
I've got strong legs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So while you're kind of hunched over, gasping for air again, totally out of breath, you hear footsteps coming, and that is where we will end the one shot. So we will meet you and Aleida again once we start the official campaign of the Isles of Nekkar. So yeah, we'll end it there. Thank you all for listening. I'm not sure who our next one shot will be. We have a party of 5,
Me too.
I believe. So hopefully next week we will have someone else, maybe 2 people next week if we can get schedules lined up. So hopefully you enjoyed this, and I'll say it now. I didn't say it at the beginning. This is my very, 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 very first time DMing.
He was scared to tell me.
So if you found this not good, I can only get better. If you found it good, I can still only get better. So you should look forward to that.
It gets worse.
It only gets worse. I'm just gonna stop talking at one point. But yeah, so we will see everyone. Well, we won't see you. This is a podcast. I'm used to doing videos. Anyway, tune in next time.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.